image of my big face with a couple of spots on it. I'm going to show you how to take that ultimately to PDFs suitable for output. So the first thing I want to show you is that these two spots are on their own separate layer. And then this is an image of my face that we're going to halftone. And as some of you may remember from class, I spoke a little bit about dot gain. It's not something I'm going to go into great detail here, but I did want to mention that through levels I actually adjusted it a little bit to compensate for that dot gain. Okay, so the first thing we need to do in preparing these is actually, if this is the finalized design we need to save a copy. It needs to be saved as is, because what we're going to start doing in a second kind of flies in the face of conventional Photoshop windows, and it involves a lot of flattening that we won't be able to recover from. So the first thing you need to do is save a version, an editable version of your file right now. Having done that, what you're going to do is select any adjustment levels to their respective layers and merge those. Oh, excuse me, not merge visible, but rather merge layers. I'm going to assign this as black. And then again, you can see we've got a red and a cyan plate. And what I'm going to do now is convert this to grayscale. And we don't want to flatten right now. So now we're in grayscale color space. I'm going to show you how to turn these into spot channels. One thing you guys may want to consider is when you're preparing files for screen printing, especially professional screen printing, is that occasionally you may want to print on something other than white, and you'll need to do a spot white plate. So the easiest way to do that is to, let's say we want to print white corresponding to the shape of my face. The easiest way to do that is to hold down Command and click the layer thumbnail, and you'll see that pulls up a perfect selection of what's on that particular layer. And then we want to click on the Channels tab, and in the menu flyout we want to click New Spot Channel. We're going to assign this a name. In this case it's Spot White. It doesn't really matter what color you assign to it because that'll be handled on press. So we're just going to go ahead and click OK. So if you turn that off, you can see that that corresponds exactly to the shape of my face. We're going to leave that off for now. Now you've got these other two layers that are going to be spots as well. So we're going to repeat that again. It's holding down Command, you click on the layer thumbnail, and it'll highlight that layer. Now you've noticed I've named all the layers appropriately so that I can keep track of them when I'm in grayscale color space. That's something that's pretty vital. You don't want to lose track, especially if there's more than 3 layers. It can be a bit of a challenge. So once you've got that selected, you need to move over to Channels. Again, the menu flyout, New Spot Channel. We'll title that Red. It's also very important that you name the channels appropriately, because in future steps it's going to be hard to distinguish. So we're going to click OK and deselect that. And click on the cyan plate. Command click it. Take that selection. Excuse me, go over to Channels first. New Spot Channel, cyan. Alright, so at this point we have our image. We're going to get rid of any spot plates that we created in the layers palette. So my red and cyan, I'm going to drag down here into the trash. You can see that that doesn't affect any of the actual spot channels. Those are still there. Just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to go in and turn off the cyan, but it again still exists. And then here's where we do something we're taught never to do. We're actually going to flatten the image. But again, you can see all the spots still exist despite having a flattened grayscale image. So I'm going to turn these on. What we're going to do now is in this menu flat, we're going to do split channels. And that's going to split every single spot channel that we created into its own plate. So you can see they're named according to the channel name we gave them earlier. This is a cyan plate. This is the red plate, spot white plate, and this is the gray plate. Now in this instance, because this is a photo image and we're going to convert it, we still have another step to do. But if you were using solid spots such as these, you would be done. You could save these as PDFs, and then when you print, you could print with the crop marks on. We'll cover that in a different video. But that would be it. You would be all set. All of these register with each other according to our original artwork. So we're going to take it one step further with this. Because we want this to be a halftone and it's currently a grayscale, we're going to go up to Mode, Bitmap. We're going to keep this the same, and under the method we're going to select halftone screen. As far as frequency, again, we've covered this in class. 45 is probably the upper end of the threshold. 15 is a very chunky halftone pattern. It's kind of exaggerated. We're going to hit 25. We're going to go with an angle of 45 as we're only doing one and don't have to worry about moire patterns with our halftones. And we're going to click on the shape as round. You can see you have some options, but for our purposes we're going to use round. And click OK. And you can see that this is a really easy halftone pattern. Be resistant to drying on the screen, and it'll make for an overall easier experience. So at this point you'd want to save these as PDFs, presumably, and they'll maintain this file naming structure. And then you can use those again when we're printing for output. You can output the file so that it prints the name of the file on it, so you don't have to guess if this was red or cyan ultimately, and it shows up on your screens. So it just minimizes chance for error. And that's it. Make sure to save your files, an editable version, and then for PDF, and we'll cover the rest in the next video. Thanks.